Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today is Week 6 College Football Recap Show with, of course, the co-host of the evening, Mr. A.K.A. Cody, the professor, with a quick little outfit change just in time. I thought you were going to rock the camo, bro. I thought we were going to be able to see you for half a show, but apparently you got suited up just in time, right before the buzzard. How you feeling, buddy?
Always. Man, I'm feeling pretty good. My Vikings just losing in a nail biter to Kansas City. Had a good weekend. Birthday today.
Your birthday?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna tell me.
Oh, big 3-2, bud.
What the fuck? Happy birthday, bro. You didn't even tell me, you piece of shit. Oh my goodness.
Ain't that big a deal.
You don't look a day past 40, Bubba. Congrats, man. Happy birthday for you.
I appreciate that.
A couple more of those Red Bulls and Busch Lights. I mean, shit, you're going to be hitting 45 before you know it. So take it easy.
I know it, bud.
Guy. Take it easy. Happy to have you here, boys. Happy Sunday. Happy birthday to old Codes here. Shout out to the boy, rocking 32 years old. Unfortunately, your Vikings couldn't get it done because they suck. Like I told you at the beginning of the day, best team in football, Detroit Lions. They just figuring out ways to get it done. That is, look, I know you hate it, but they're good. So give it what you want. We are going to talk a lot of things college football today. We're going to talk Georgia Bulldogs. We're going to talk the who? The Miami Hurricanes. That's who. The Cards taking down Notre Dame. Just quietly getting done. Just quietly 6-0. Ain't nobody talking about them too much. Just doing it behind the scenes. OU.
Yeah.
With a monster win against Texas. And then, of course, Bama just doing Bama things. I told you guys to watch out for old Bama. And sure enough, here they come. We'll update you with our new top 5 as well, but it's going to be a jam-packed show. Of course, we've got our old reliables. You like that, your rebounds, and your peel-it-offs. So let's start off with let's do the rebound, because I don't think people are going to be prepared for what the rebound's going to be. So let's talk about it. The Dogs. The Dogs are the rebound team of the week this week, I think, and the reason being is because the Auburn game was a hell of a win for them. We talked about it. It was game of the week last week. But we were so in question of is Georgia, right? So giving them the rebound of the week because they absolutely just slaughtered Kentucky. It concerns me because it looks like all of a sudden Georgia has found themselves. Carson Beck goes for over 300 yards. He's passing the ball around, not just throwing it to old Brock Bowers. It looked like the Georgia of old. And think about this for a minute. They won the last 2 championships. Old Stetson Bennett, the mailman, who's got drinking problems, just got kicked off the Rams. Now you've got an actually a legitimate 4-star quarterback in Carson Beck that's been hanging around for the last couple of years now that is getting comfortable. It's going to be dangerous. I think they've got Ra Thompson over there. They've got the other young man from Missouri. The offensive powerhouse right now they've got going on is really starting to find itself. And all Kentucky was allowed them to do is go home into Georgia. All week, all you heard was Kentucky was going to pull an upset. This could be a close one, and they just looked absolutely dominant. The first time they looked dominant all season, finally had a cover. And look, it's a big bounce back game for them. And we had on the Saturday show, Jake said, quit talking about it, quit mentioning it, quit firing them up. And here they are, kicking ass, taking names. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, for Georgia, they started fast, like right off rip with the touchdown. And that's when I knew, okay, Kirby Smart has them boys pumped up and they're ready to fight today. I'll tell you, man, this is pretty scary. It's scary for the SEC. It's scary for college football. All the other teams should be taking notice. We thought they were going to have a down year. The defense, tremendous as usual. They got pass catchers. They got running backs. They have Brock Bowers. They got another white tight end that is just like him. He's like a freshman or a sophomore. He goes in, he catches a couple good passes over the middle. My question is, how do you let Brock Bowers just run loose? Like
Like Travis
it's
Kelce,
kind of
dude.
like
You feel like there
it's
should
like
be an
Kelce.
answer
Like,
for it. Yeah, but there
what do
isn't an
you
answer
do?
for it.
Every single time he's open, like open. Not even Brock Bowers hasn't made a contested catch in 4 years. Like it's like he's just like, oh well, toss me the ball. I'm just wide the fuck open over here. Like
Yeah,
it's unreal.
look, it's concerning as a Gator, watching him to just be right in sync, right at it again. And look, I made the rant last week about Bama in the sense they're all reliable. They look like the Bama of old. And in a time when football doesn't have a true identity of who the elite teams are, Texas went down this weekend. Oklahoma is now kind of leading the way, I feel. And then monster win. Michigan's still doing Michigan things, right? But they haven't really been tested yet for us to get a true sense. Are they really this good? I think they are, but we haven't had a test yet. And you're going to allow a team like Georgia to get all the way. Look, it's going to be Georgia Bama, it looks like right now in the SEC Championship. That's how it's going to be, in which is going to be a dogfight, pun intended. But you allow either one of those teams into the playoffs, you can't tell me that there's a team out there right now that would match up well against this Georgia and this Bama team. I think Michigan will probably gives them their best fit. To be honest with you, I think they're just the most complete sound team with a lot of experience under their belt. Oregon as well, but those Pac-12 teams are finicky. We don't know what we're going to get out of them just because of how the Pac-12 was operated. But they got some high slinging power or a high power offense. But we know how Oregon phased against Georgia last year. So crazy to think. And Megan, UK only had 55 rushing yards after a 300-yard rushing game against Florida. Unreal. And look, we talked about a pregame, right? Like you were going to run into you can't out Georgia, right? You're not going to beat them with their own game.
So don't sleep on LSU. Okay.
I mean, look, he's not wrong. Like for them pulling that W out this past week was a big win for them to keep their season afloat and to keep them relevant. I totally agree, for sure.
I don't know. They're not beating Georgia though, and they're not going to beat Bama. I'm just going to say this. I thought this year was going to be an off year where a team could win it, not named Georgia, Bama, Ohio State. I'm wrong. I was completely wrong. Georgia's going to win. Georgia's going to win a 3-peat.
Don't put that out there. It doesn't look. It
I'm
doesn't
just
look good.
saying it sucks. But
doesn't look good right
after
now,
what
yeah.
I saw, after what I saw this weekend against a very good Kentucky defense, where they sliced them up.
See, that's the thing.
They did whatever they
wanted. I gotta pump the brakes on that. Are they? I mean, look. Are they that good though, or did Florida just play that
got a
bad?
better defense? No, but who's got a better defense than Kentucky right now?
Kentucky's defense is pretty elite. I think we have to
Ohio
give them
State, no.
Michigan's healthy.
No. Healthy,
that's true. And they got sliced. They got sliced. That's true. These are all true. We got a dislike. I think they don't like your take on that one. Goes
is what is.
All right, boys.
Just being a realist.
I appreciate it. Look, that's our rebound team for the week. As for you like that, let's get into that on you like that for the week. I don't have the clip. Well, that's unfortunate. So you're like that for the week is Oklahoma versus Texas. Is that the you like that? Yeah, I couldn't remember who your like that was.
Yes.
So look, big game for Oklahoma there to get the W there. I was giving a lot of shit to Oklahoma and Jason, obviously. Did not believe in Oklahoma, did not believe in Brent Venables, did not believe in Dylan Gabriel. Myself did not. I thought for sure Texas was going to steamroll. I had them number one in the country in our top 5, and reason being, I really felt that they'd been tested the most. They showed up, showed out, and did their thing. Look, it was a hell of a football game. Came down to the last second. Oklahoma scored with about 50 seconds left. So it wasn't like it was a blowout. I mean, these two teams will meet again. It's going to be in the Big 12 championship. We talked about it yesterday. Could either of these teams afford a loss on the Saturday game day show? If they were to afford a loss, it would have been at this moment. So I still think that Texas can go and win out and win in the Big 12 championship. Look, we talked about this though in front of them. It's going to be tough depending on what happens in front of them on just how many undefeated teams are going to be left. Oregon and USC, one of those guys will fall. USC, I'm going to talk about them for a little bit. They didn't look fantastic at all last night against Arizona. Almost went down against Arizona. But Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, one of those three teams will only come out unscathed, maybe. So, look, the Texas season is far from over. And, again, you played a really good Oklahoma team that showed out. And, look, for reason being, Oklahoma has skirted into our top 5. I know they weren't in the top 5, and they probably weren't close for a lot of people, but they were kind of just lingering around in a highly undefeated team. You go in and you handle your business in a neutral site against Texas, you got to move in the top 5, especially after Ohio State looked the way they did against Maryland. I bumped them out of my top 5. They didn't look as dominant as I would expect them to. Although Maryland, I think, is a pretty good football team. I don't think Maryland, should hold their hat. They were undefeated as well. So that was a tough game. So I might get a little flack. But all in all, I got to give Oklahoma some kudos because I've been talking a lot of mad shit. It concerned me with how clean in football they looked and how good they looked. I felt like, again, Texas going into this, just a complete sound football team. Great running game, great quarterback, great defense. I mean, Texas was primed to get it done. And you went down against Oklahoma. And again, it wasn't like you played at home or vice versa. You played a neutral site, which is what a playoff would be, which would, the Big 12 championship. So we're going to see an identical rematch of these two teams here at the end of the year, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, technically it's more of a Texas home game than it is Oklahoma because it's at the State Fair of Texas.
But they split
I
it.
will tell you this.
They split it.
Yeah, it's split. It's a good good even split. I will say this. I was very surprised. Now, guys, this was a dogfight. It's not like Oklahoma went in there and just beat the brakes off Texas. This was a dogfight from the beginning to the end. But OU's O-line was absolutely dominant, and I spelt that wrong in this graphic. That's wonderful. And so the O-line was very dominant. Dylan Gabriel got to go north and south, ran for a bunch of big yards. That plays were breaking down, and truthfully, Oklahoma's defense was better than Texas.
Sure.
And they were able to at times shut down the run game.
They got to Quinn very quickly. They rattled him very quickly, which kudos to Quinn too for bouncing back, but they made some big plays early on.
Couple picks.
Yep, absolutely. Look, it was a great game. I think I love the fact that I don't think it's going to completely ruin either, or it's not going to ruin Texas season. Like I said, we're going to see a rematch in the Big 12 championship, and with how it's looked thus far, I mean, there's one team left in the SEC that's undefeated because Mizzou went down. Yeah, Mizzou and Kentucky went down, so there's only one team left now that's undefeated in the SEC. We still got a few undefeated in the Big Ten and Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. But again, one of all three of those teams play one another. So one of them is bound. There's only one that could possibly come out unscathed. And then in the Pac-12, all we've got left right now is USC, Oregon, Washington. So those three teams is going to be interesting too. But again, all those three play each other as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But again,
that's definitely the high top game of the week, right?
Washington versus
no, the Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah, that was definitely a great game to watch. I mean, Bama could obviously that was a fun game as well. But yeah, that was a hell of a football game at Big Noon Kickoff. That was an absolute blast. That went is exactly how you expected it to go, or how you would want it to go as a non-fan of either team, but just wanted to watch a good football game. Like that was definitely a game of the week. Now let's go to my favorite segment is you and peeled off.
Ma'am, is this your vehicle?
Yes, is my son okay?
You won't be needing that one anymore.
Miami just getting absolutely peeled off by the old Georgia Tech boys. I love it. I was watching that game thinking, no way Miami throws this thing away, but sure enough, they did. All they had to do was take a kneel. I don't know what was happening. I don't know if you saw, but at the end of the play where they scored a touchdown, somebody threw something at the wide receiver running into the end zone. There's obviously the meme of the linemen just going, "What the fuck are we doing?" Right, which people are going to use clip up galore. They had Jeremiah Smith and Adarius Hayes there at that game. Miami's going to Miami. I mean, at a time where I was like, man, Miami has really turned things around, beating A&M. They're cruising right along. Now all of a sudden they're just right back to being Miami. We'll see how they bounce back, but I mean that's your whole season just down the drain right there. They got FSU, which obviously, look, if I'm FSU, that game concerns me a little bit more now, right? Because now Miami's going into that game a little bit more with I've got nothing to lose, which versus before if they went into undefeated, there's a little nerves of like we could lose this season here, but now they're just going to be playing balls to wall. So that'll be a big game for Miami. And I was also taking a look. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. But Louisville, obviously undefeated. If you take a look at their schedule in the SEC, got 6 games left. It doesn't look as intimidating as other teams in the SEC are looking right now. This could really come down to being a dogfight. And we thought FSU had a clear path. It's not looking as clear anymore. But Miami taking this L yesterday is just an absolute blast. Like, you can't – when a day when my Braves lost, this made things a lot better. Miami going down. They just find a way to make your day better. It's weird how Miami continues to do this. Miami is in complete shambles. How do you do this twice in two years in a row? Middle Tennessee last year, not Georgia Tech.
Well, it doesn't help when TVD throws like 5 picks.
Brutal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the fumble, the picks. Georgia Tech is not a good team. They're not. They are a terrible team. You let the scrubs hang around, and then they go in and they rip your heart out. That's what happens every single time. And for Mario Cristobal not to just kneel the ball, it's like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you trying to prove?
Did you see what the Paul Feinbaum said about him? Basically along the lines like it's the biggest bonehead decision I've ever seen from a head coach. So
and Paul Feinbaum's been watching college football for 50 years.
Yeah, it's a lot. So listen to their schedule. You ready for this? They've got North Carolina next weekend. So there's 4-2.
Loss.
They've got Clemson the following weekend, which that game now looks like could be a loss, 4-3. They've got Virginia, that should be a W. NC State should be a W. But then they follow with Florida State and then Louisville.
All L's.
Huh?
All L's.
Yeah,
Losses.
and Boston College. Boston College could somehow, it's in Boston College. We saw Boston College at Florida State. Miami season could get slippery really, really fast for them. And UNC got their wide receiver back. They're looking unbeatable at the moment.
I think that the craziest thing about Miami is they do have some pieces. Bain on the D-line, very good. Their running back, he's slipping my name, very, very good. They have a wide receiver, Restrepo, I think his name is. Very, very good. But they don't have it all together. And then when the coach is cutting you off at the knees and not just kneeling the fucking ball with 30 seconds left on third down.
There's losing, right? Like, look, Florida got their ass kicked against Kentucky. And that's just kind of getting punched in the mouth and getting embarrassed.
I feel like this is worse.
Oh, this is way worse. You have the game in the bag, first of all. This is a game you should not lose. You're at home, which doesn't mean anything for Miami, but you're at home.
Against
you have all these
bad
recruits
Georgia Tech team.
It's Georgia Tech, which is not a football school. It's just a school, to say the least, who just got clapped against, I think it was Wake Forest. Or no, they beat Wake Forest, excuse me. But either way, you can't go in there and lose this game. And it was close, and you had it in the bag. Just kneel the damn football, and you hand it off, and they get stripped. And not even that. It's not even the fact they fumble the ball. They get fumble the ball, and then they blow the coverage. It was like a 45-yard bomb. It wasn't like they got on the 2 and they just had to poke it in. They still had to go down and score with no time on the clock. Like, it was just a combination of events that just happened. It's like they scored with no time left. Like, it was unreal. Unreal. And like I saw in the comments, the locker room does not bounce back from that. That one's going to be a tough one to bounce back from. And in a time where it's like they felt like they could, figure something out, that's going to be tough.
When you lose like Florida did versus Kentucky, you can point out the film and say, "Listen, guys, this is what we did wrong. This was a group. This was I'm going full Billy Napier. This was a group problem. We didn't really show up, and we didn't fight like we used to, or we usually do. You know what I mean? We didn't have the energy here. But when you go full Mario, what it is just not fucking knowing what you're doing. And that will lose a locker room real fast. Now he goes out and pays a wide receiver to commit today.
You saw that? You saw
the
counter?
Yeah, I saw the counter. It was coming. And everybody was saying, what did you see in that last game that you think you need to go there? I think it's, hey, here's 20,000 just to
We
Can
got
we
to
get
clean
some
this
heat
thing
off
up.
me?
We need some news to counter. We need
Yeah, even if you don't commit, here's 20,000. Just get off the bad radar a little bit.
Give us a graphic. Give us a graphic.
Yeah, please, Hayes. 20,000 here. Listen, we don't even care if it's real. We don't even know if that guy's a real guy. We don't even care. Just we need something. But
Pump it
it's
out.
like it's one of those things. It's one of those things where that's detrimental.
They weren't
That
showing.
is-
Fans weren't showing up already. I mean, this is going to be. I mean, look, they're going to go to UNC. They're going to get clapped. They're going to get clapped next week against UNC, which at a time, like, you think they win this game with Georgia Tech, they go into UNC thinking, hey, we got a chance. We're undefeated. We're going to be a top 25 team. We're against UNC. We're going to make an upset here, right? You can believe. Now you're going into this, like, we're going to get coached out of this anyways. The following week is going to be Miami. So you're facing 2 atrocious losses. You're going back to Miami. They can't fill a stadium out when they're giving tickets away against a Clemson team that's hungry to get back to where they want to belong. They might just drop 3 in a row real quick. And Virginia can't find their head from their ass right now. Virginia might walk into Miami, catch them upside down as well too. So we'll see how all that plays out. It's going to be an interesting couple weeks here.
I think the craziest thing about Miami, number one, shout out to Chi-Town, because you got wrecked after this show in the comments.
Yes, he did.
I am so sorry. But do not come on High Top Sports.
I'm clipping his shit after this and I'm posting it.
Do not come on High Top Sports and say we're going to hang 50 on Georgia Tech. Just watch. And then that happened to you.
I couldn't believe it.
You can come on whenever you want. We'll have you on whenever you want. Just remember,
brutal.
When you come on here and say some crazy stuff, it's going to be brought up. And I saw that in the comments and I saw that in Twitter.
I loved it. The comments were not holding back any, which they never do on anybody, which was fun. But hey guys, over 120 people here on this beautiful Sunday night. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new here. On the way to 18,000. Appreciate your love. Let's go into our next little segment called Old Reliable. We named this segment after this coach and this team, and for until they give us reason not to, they're gonna. Old Reliable, I think it cut me off. Look, Bama squeaks it out, a close one to Texas A&M, but it was close, but not close, right? It was won in a Bama fashion way. He did enough to win the game, like you said. Bama leans on their defense for another win, but you got to expect going into Texas A&M. A&M is starting to find itself. This is going to be a hard-fought game. Nobody expected that. Bama did what they covered the 2 points, which I thought they would. I thought it'd be a little more of a blowout, but A&M kind of got rolling early. A&M is much better than I anticipated, so I'm kind of eating my words there. Even though they took the L here, they are finding themselves. They are looking like a well-ran football team, much better than what they were last year. Again, a tough loss against Bama, but you're just now, all of a sudden, Bama has won some big ones here, and they're on a little bit of a roll. And like I said, you get that Old Reliable clicking, it could get dangerous here, and you could be a little nerve-wracking. Again, that Georgia-Bama matchup, who takes it? Right now, I still like Georgia, especially from what I saw against Kentucky. But let's talk about what Bama has lined up. This schedule, son. They just obviously went up against Texas A&M. They've got Arkansas next week. Arkansas can't find their head from their ass. But then they've got Tennessee, LSU, and Kentucky. And then it goes Chattanooga, Auburn. So Bama's going to have, I keep looking at these schedules like, my goodness, these are going to be a hellhole. But they got Arkansas in Alabama. That Tennessee game is in Alabama. I don't expect that thing to be close. I know Tennessee has one loss right now. They're feeling pretty frisky. Bama has Tennessee and LSU. So the next 3 games are at home for Alabama, and it's Tennessee, LSU, and Arkansas. I expect a clean sweep here for Alabama. And I'm telling you, they're gonna roll these next few games. The Tennessee game, I don't think they're having issues with. The LSU game, there might be a little bit of a hiccup. Maybe a little bit of a hiccup. From what I saw Kentucky, that Kentucky game is not going to mean anything to me. That Auburn game is in Auburn. It could be like this A&M game, or it could be a little bit close. That game could ruin their season. I'll know more when we get to that point of the season where Auburn is at, but Auburn is looking like a team that could ruin your season. They're not great, but they could definitely ruin your season.
Yeah, for sure. First off, let's go with this. Is Dave Portnoy El Capitan? Dave Portnoy?
It's got to be.
Are you watching the show?
It's got to be.
I hope so. Let us know. You can reach us at the Gmail. Sorry.
What's your thoughts on the Alabama game versus Texas A&M?
Sorry, the dogs just went crazy. Yeah, so Alabama just they're getting back to their ways. Now Milroe did not look as good as what he did last week, but they're just leaning on the defense. They're running the ball well. They're doing everything right. And so it's one of those things where it's like
I mean, he threw for
it's
300
not
yards.
flat.
Jermaine Burton had 197 yards receiving.
I know,
Milroe,
but when you watch the game,
did just fine.
when you watch the game, there was definitely some flaws. I think that he took some sacks. He took some sacks that he didn't need to, and if he just pulls the ball down and runs north and south like he did last week, they're going to be an even better football team. But
you got to think about it. You're going in a hostile environment, right? With Texas A&M. Texas A&M definitely got to bring their best.
they're going to fill. They're going to fill that stadium. It don't matter if they're 1-11, right?
100,000 plus.
12th man, 100,000 plus, and they're going to be rowdy. And it was a night game. And I will tell you this: Texas A&M's defense is legit fast. They are good. Very good. I get that they got beat up kind of in the third and fourth quarter. They were a little bit gassed. But what I saw out of the first 2 quarters of Texas A&M defense, their team I'm worried about. If they could figure out the offense, Bobby Petrino can actually call the plays. They actually might be something in the SEC.
Yeah, let's see what A&M has left up for their schedule. So they've got Tennessee next week. That one should be a fun one in Tennessee. That could really be the make it or break it point for both teams, to be honest with you. Then they got South Carolina. Then they got Ole Miss, and then Mississippi State, then a nobody, and then LSU. So A&M, I mean, look, we're saying Florida has a tough schedule. A lot of these teams, I mean, everyone's kind of facing a dogfight here towards, we're in the middle of, right in the heart of conference play, and it is juicy. I don't know why you look like shit right now. I don't know what happened to you, but we're losing you.
What happened either. Yeah, it's grainy. Nobody needs to see my ugly mug anyway. So
yeah. We'll get rid of that one.
my biggest, still ugly. My biggest thing is just that Texas A&M, man. I'm telling you, that game is closer than what people have, than what the scoreboard or if you really watched all of it, the game is closer than what people think.
No, it was. Look, I mean, at one point it was like 14,
know what I mean?
I think it was 14-10. I think for and AM was leading the way. Bama just came out and did what Bama does. Again, over reliable. Came out the second half and handled business like they always have and always will. So, look, I think Bama still has a lot of things to answer, but they've got 6 games to find those things out as they continue to work their way through the SEC West.
What's Bama have left on their schedule? Real fast.
I just did that.
What was it again?
They've got Arkansas, then Tennessee, then LSU, then Kentucky, and then Chattanooga, and then Auburn. So they've got some games that they're definitely losable games for Bama in the sense that Tennessee has the firepower to beat Bama. LSU, they have the firepower. I don't know about the defense. Kentucky's going to get steamrolled. Auburn is honestly, in my opinion, the game where that they could find themselves slipping up. That's honestly the best thing for watching this. So. We'll see, but let's get into the last game here, which was the Cards versus Notre Dame. So what's funny is, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Josh Pate talked about this game last week, obviously saying that, hey, the odds are in the wrong spot. It should be Louisville. Louisville should be favored here. People call him a clown, call him an idiot. Louisville absolutely rolled Notre Dame. It was 33-20, absolutely steamrolled them, and Sam Hartman, and that basically has cemented this season for the Fighting Irish, a team that I had winning a lot of football games. Thought they're going to come in and do things really extremely well. I thought they're going to upset Ohio State. That did not happen. Ohio State handled business, but I still thought they would lose a game. That game was going to be USC. I thought they were going to lose, which I still believe they're going to lose that football game. But this is crushing for Notre Dame because, again, their season has come to kaputs in the sense of making a playoffs. Obviously, bowl games is still in there, but I think this team felt that they had the team to really be competitive. And look, I think that Ohio State game, I think they lost it. That Louisville game, they got manhandled. It wasn't even close. Louisville out there straight did Louisville business. And I was wondering, Louisville has been recruiting quietly hella good. And really good, and it's starting to work pay off here, boys. They got a defensive lineman he committed last February for the 2024 season, but reclassified, TJ Capers. So he's there right now, and they're doing work, man. That like I said, the ACC is going to be wide open as well, and I do want to talk about that for just a quick second about the projection of just the ACC and what's going to happen. So here's Louisville's remaining schedule. They've got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is completely lost. Duke, I'm believing their quarterback is out, if I'm not mistaken. So that game has now become winnable.
Correct.
Then you got Virginia Tech. Yep. Then you got Virginia. I don't see a loss right now on Louisville's schedule for the remaining of their season. Then they got Miami in Miami. We just saw Miami.
Could Louisville make it?
Louisville does not look. So here's what's interesting. So then Louisville has to play Kentucky, but once Louisville only has 5 games left in the ACC. Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech, those 3 games are a lock. So it's that Miami-Duke game that's going to be interesting. Duke has not taken an ACC loss either. They're going to take a loss more than likely at some point. They're going to play UNC. So Duke's probably going to fall back pretty quickly. And they play Florida State. So let's forget about that. Does UNC play? And UNC doesn't play FSU. This is going to be interesting here. We could have 3 undefeated teams in the ACC here. UNC doesn't play FSU.
How would they figure that out?
I don't know. I guess on who they played, I don't know, because UNC, this is what UNC's schedule. They got Miami W, Virginia W, Georgia Tech. They're at Miami. Then Campbell. Then Duke. Again, I think Duke has lost all their wind. Then Clemson and NC State. UNC is primed to be the top dog.
Oh, if they lose to Clemson, though, that's their one loss.
Yeah, they're not losing to Clemson. UNC?
I mean, is it at Clemson?
It is.
Weird things happen.
I mean, look, I'm just saying that there isn't. It's like my point. What I was getting at is that the FSU and Louisville and Duke or UNC could all go undefeated because none of them play one another to take one of them out.
Okay,
that's more so what I was getting at.
So what do you do then if you're the ACC?
That part, I don't know how that works because it's not an East and a West. It's just the top 2 teams play each other. So I don't know what the tiebreaker would be because again, who they played maybe I don't know. Now it usually always works itself out. I'm sure it will be fine. But again, Louisville. Q says Duke or Miami will beat Louisville. And look, Miami could bounce back and still be a competitive football team and get it done. I don't think Duke's going to beat Louisville. Duke's quarterback.
I mean, we have an ACC guy on staff. Like, can we ask him what the tiebreaker is?
He was in here earlier. I figured he would drop down the knowledge. What it would be.
Stephen Chad, where are you at, bud? Like,
give us
the knowledge to us. If all 3 go, all 3 go.
Q says the ACC championship will take one of them out. That's not the problem. I'm talking about who's going to be in the ACC championship. Q.
Yeah, if you got 3 of them,
because the 3 of them don't play one another.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting here that these 3 don't play. That the 3 of them don't even cross paths.
Can we gotta give our flowers to Louisville though. We got a little sidetracked, a little scroll action here, a little ADD, but Louisville dominant on defense. 5 sacks, 3 forced INTs from Sam Hartman, a veteran. He hasn't seen pressure like that ever. And then the Cards go out and they have a running back that just goes up and runs it down their throat, catches them for touchdowns. It was almost the game of the week. Almost. It was close. Texas Oklahoma was a little bit better, but boy, I tell you, if you didn't watch that game, you're missing out. And if you're watching this podcast right now, go just watch the condensed series of Louisville and Notre Dame, because I'm gonna tell you, you talk about a game, you talk about what you love about college football. That is it. It is unreal the speed they have on defense right now, and the way that the D-line gets after that quarterback. It's the scariest team in the ACC. Everybody talked about Florida State. I'm sorry, Louisville. I slept on you. I'm sorry. Florida State.
Yeah, I think
Florida State is not better than Louisville at this point. I'm sorry, they're not.
Oh, Cody, easy on the bushes, Cody. You gotta take easy on the bush slides.
No, the Bushes. Listen, they're here, but they ain't talking. Louisville is better than Florida State at this
Sean
point
D
right
just
now.
says if Louisville can get a little better quarterback play, I liked him better than FSU. So yeah, but hey, so QLE, the ACC is not. There's no two sides to it. It's just the top two teams. They eliminated the sides. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's no two sides to this. Yeah, right now. So the standings are for the ACC, and I'm looking at it right here. And I'll share my screen if I need to. Is Louisville, Florida State, then UNC. That's the schedule that we're. That's the schedule that we're looking at here.
What's the ACC?
I'm pulling it up.
Can we call Holly?
That's how it looks right now. So there's no two sides to this thing. Like, see how the Big Ten has the East and the West? It's just one happy division here.
So what do they do?
I don't know. Look, hopefully they don't have to cross that bridge when they'll have to cross that bridge when they get there, but we'll see. Let's
Coin flip like in Friday Night Lights?
I think that's the best way probably to handle it.
Yeah.
Let's get into our top 5 of the week here. We made some adjustments. Obviously, my number 1 team, which was Texas, goes down. Whoops. Cody goes down.
As they should.
And so I kicked him out of the top 5 completely. I moved Michigan up 1. Georgia was not in our top 5. I felt like after the past 2 Ws, the past 2 weeks, they have earned themselves to sit in the top 5. Oregon and Penn State still staying at 3 and 4. They didn't play. They shouldn't move due to the lack of play. And Oklahoma has rightfully earned themselves in our top 5. I haven't even looked at the actual AP poll. I know Georgia's number 1 in everyone's AP poll. But I feel like, look, Michigan, in my opinion, has dominated thus far, has done what they were supposed to do. Georgia was the first time last week. I feel like, look, they're a top 5 team. They've been winning football games, right? They should be up there anyways. They locked and loaded, and they get OU pulling it in. So outside looking in right now that are undefeated teams, you still have got USC. But USC, real quick, let me talk about them, bro. They are no longer the USC Trojans. They are the Caleb Williams Trojans because they are Caleb Williams and nothing else. That is it. I don't even think Lincoln Riley's calling football plays, to be honest with you. I think he just goes, hey, just get open, guys. I mean, the line collapses is like a lawn chair. Caleb rolls out and then just is able to do some magic with his feet. Somebody gets open and he slings it 45 yards down the football field. He's just that good. But the rest of the team is just atrocious.
The defense terrible.
Atrocious. I was frustrated watching that game because I've got $50 that USC is going to win more games than Oklahoma. I almost was going to send my money to Jason last night. Like, this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
He tried to tell you about Lincoln.
He did, and I didn't want to believe him. And he's starting to turn, made me turn a little bit. I was very frustrated with how they looked. I was kind of shocked, to be honest with you.
Real fast, Weapon X. I hear you. My damn Vikings is 1-4. Just one. Just one fucking Super Bowl before I die. I die.
No, you're gonna watch the Lions win this year.
No.
Muddy says rock paper scissors for the decision. Look,
I like that.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. Look, so if Caleb Williams is bailing Lincoln Riley week in and week out, it is unreal. I could not believe what I was watching. I go, this is
know.
This is why they lost to Tulane. This is what happened when you play an actual football team that is disciplined, right? And this is why I think Colorado gave them a little bit of a scare at the end there. But USC is not a top 10. There might be a top 10 football team just because of how good Caleb Williams is and because of the lack of talent. But I see Oregon absolutely slaughtering USC from what I saw last night. Slaughtering.
Yeah. They're not winning the Pac-12.
No, I don't believe it at all. I can't see it anymore. I can't see it at all.
That defense is so anemic.
I think Oregon State is going to give USC an absolute run. There's a lot. So we'll see. Oklahoma's not losing again. Oklahoma's got to play Texas. I don't think they're going to lose anymore in the Big 12. I agree. I think they're going to roll into the Big 12 championship undefeated. It's going to come down to that Big 12 championship. Who determines? Now, could you see 2 Big 12 teams in the Final Four? We talked about that on Saturday. Just due to we'll have to see what happens. And even Jason said he doesn't believe so, just due to the fact of how abolished the Big 12 is. It is not what it was last year. The teams are not as elite as they were. So the value of those their schedules are not going to be as high. So could you have an Oklahoma, Texas, one loss and a no loss Oklahoma? If Texas takes down Oklahoma, does that automatically discredit Oklahoma from being in there? Again, we'll have to see. The ACC gets away with it every year for the most part. They can have an undefeated and one loss or 2 one-loss teams get in there if it plays out that way. I don't see just how it plays out right now there being enough room for it. So, look, Texas could get lucky and win that last game, and that last game is going to mean more than this game this past Saturday, in my opinion. It won't matter what happens. So, I don't think either one of them.
I think Texas could fumble another one.
They could. I don't think they will. You know what sucks thinking about this? Is it's great that these two teams are going to the SEC, right? Now,
yeah.
I'm kind of eating my words here, so I'll slow down in just a second. But with them going into the SEC, you have just a slew of powerhouse teams. Same thing with the Big Ten, right? Where only one can really come out of that. You've got Bama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, all fighting for one spot out of the SEC. Now, with us going to 12 teams, and that's what makes that 12-team playoff that much more important because you can, lose the SEC championship game and also finish maybe third and not even play in the SEC championship game and still find your spot in the final 12. But man, I just kind of hit me in the head. Like having all these great teams in one conference sounds cool, right? But now when I really look at it, you're gonna be having dogfights to see which team's to represent the SEC. Could kind of suck, right? You're not gonna have all these great teams in the playoffs anymore. It's just the SEC conference play is going to be where it's at. The SEC championship might be it is in a way now. The championship, it's for sure going to be the championship in the next few years if it plays like this. Kansas is going to beat Oklahoma in 2 weeks. You're really high on Kansas, Muddy, and I don't disagree. That could be a team that ruins Oklahoma's dreams, and I would love that.
Texas Tech last week, November 29th, sucker punches Texas.
You're out of your damn mind. This is not a penis hoodie. This is my World Series hoodie. I don't understand why people. I mean, I get it. People say it looks like a penis all the time. I don't understand.
At Texas.
Texas not losing another one. Texas isn't losing.
Yeah, they will. Their schedule's weak.
You're just pissed because the Vikings suck. They're not losing.
No, it's not that. No, I think they're gonna drop another one. I think Sark is gonna continue to choke.
All right, you've been hanging out with Jason too much. We gotta quit having him on the show on Wednesday. I'm losing you here. Yeah, USC, man. I'm disappointed in USC. I can't. I don't know what's going on with those boys. Them boys ain't got it in them.
No defense. None. They don't even play. Don't even put guys on the field at that point.
No, it's awful. Well, hey, good show, boys and girls. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe. We're going to have our show tomorrow, 8:35, with Stephen Harris for Champs Corner. Talk all things Florida Gators. Obviously, go over that press conference once again. We're dropping videos almost every single day, so be sure to keep the bell turned on if you guys want to keep up with any college football news. We're trying to stay on top of as much as we can. Then we'll have Wednesday. Josh Prey will be on the show with us Wednesday, live 8:35, on top of a player from the Florida Gators. Not quite sure who yet. Rumor has it on the street could be Rick Pearsall. So we'll see how that plays out. We're in the works trying to line that interview up currently. So look, jam-packed show for you guys coming up within the next 72 hours. So be sure to stay tuned in, stay locked in, like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Shelton.
And I'm Cody the Professor.
Boogie-da, boys. Be good. Love you.